Coming up on the Two Bros Music Podcast, episode 7, we have sound effects. And we get into some news, and we also have the Turn It Up segment. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome to the Two Bros Music Podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Adam, and we're back for another one.
Yeah, we can't get enough.
Yeah.
We got a few surprises here on this episode. We made it to episode 7. And so what have you been up to since our last episode?
Trying to figure out how to get this stuff running so that, just as you are too, just figuring out the technology. And since we're both novice to this whole thing, how to record it in, I use Pro Tools when we track songs. Joe has Logic, but it's all similar. It's just about how you route your stuff to record. So we'll be recording that stuff directly. But right now we still have to go through Zoom.
Yeah, so we're going through Zoom, and you were complaining that you were getting like a cutoff. It was clipping your audio. I didn't hear it on my end, so I never thought about it.
It's called ducking. It's because I think it's the host is the primary moderator when you have, so he has to be able to talk over everybody so that everybody can hear him. Since it's just you and me, it's not like where there's a group. You're just ducking me out every now and then when you interject and I'm saying something. So it's like, but that's part of the technology. All of them do that.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, we got sound effects now.
Yeah, we had finally. It took us a little while to figure. Hey, we're a couple of wetbacks, so it's gonna take us a while.
Oh, we gotta get a soundbite. I'll do a mimic grandpa when he's doing the 15 hamburgers.
Oh shit! Yeah,
our grandfather, he had a very thick Spanish accent. And we go to McDonald's, and our mom's side of the family, she had 2 sisters and 3 brothers. So this is a big family. And when Grandpa'd go order, he'd order 15 hamburgers. So he'd go up to the drive-thru and go, "I want 15 hamburgers."
Yeah, he sounded kind of like Count Dracula a little bit.
Kind of.
And we'd be in the back seat. And this was actually when McDonald's first started the drive-thru. And so he'd go through the drive-thru thinking he was a shit, and then they couldn't understand him.
I'm talking about the 80s, so they already had drive-thrus, but they couldn't understand him. It always happened. He'd have to repeat it. 50 hamburgers.
Yeah, and then he'd put his fucking fingers up to the speaker like they could see him, and they didn't have a camera back then.
I remember on several occasions, Reach just leaning over and go, "He wants 15 hamburgers." Because I don't speak any Spanish. Our parents speak it. Joe speaks a little. By the time I came along, nobody was speaking it. We were living in Oakland, so I didn't learn it.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a throwback
inside thing. 15 hamburgers.
15 hamburgers. Yeah, we got to get a soundbite of that. Should have recorded them with a cassette back then.
Yeah, you want 50, sir?
Yeah, and it would always end up with the guy, whoever was, at the teller, with just pull up to the window and he get all pissed off. He start cussing in Spanish. So anyway, so we added some sound effects. We'll throw them in during the episode here. I don't want to. I have an itch to go overboard right now because they're new. But then I don't want to overdo it and burn them out.
Just get it. Just do it. Whatever.
I got to get it out of my system.
Yeah, we're like kids with a new toy. And we're this is all part of the development. This is the the developmental stage. I know one thing we should bring up. We're gonna be changing the name of the podcast, right?
Oh yeah. Well, did you come up with a name?
No, I'm working on it. But
Your balls are showing.
dude, the camera's off. But yeah, we're gonna. So after we get some of these, get all the bumps and all the little the learning curve, as when we get more into it, we'll come up with a better name, and we're gonna go have video. So
yeah, we want to do like a live stream where we're recording it, and then we'll still put out the actual audio like we're doing, send that up. But then if anybody's interested, they can watch us record the show, record the episode.
you get to stare at ugly faces.
Yeah. Two wetbacks staring right back at you. So that's our goal right now. But I mean, that could be a little in the distance there. We don't want to rush things here.
It's like, we can't move too fast, too quickly.
I do not want to touch his ass.
Okay, so that's plans. What do you want to get into first?
I guess it's news, right?
Do the news?
Yeah. Unless you got topics you want, because the news is going to trail into Turn It Up.
Yeah.
So,
what's going on with the song? Did you come up with anything?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna work on it this week.
Okay.
I had a hell of a week last week, so I had a guy
I'll put you on the brain. I always do.
I couldn't get to it.
All right.
I'll have something this week because
our fans are really worried now.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's like chomping at the bit. Hey, we're
So,
what the hell is this? I'm just waiting for nothing. But no, I'll get you something. I was thinking, you know what? What if I just start from scratch? I'm just gonna come up with just something all new.
All right, I don't care.
Because whatever we started working on, it just kind of fell apart, and then so I'll just come up with something new and send it to you.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, because it's like it's been a while, and then you had said you were going to come up with, I guess last weekend you were going to come up with something. I didn't hear anything, so I figured, well, I was just going to tell you, but then we didn't talk last night. Yeah, just come up with something, Yeah, and we'll just go from there.
All right. Yeah. So
I could draw you a picture if you want.
Yeah, Joe's going to be taking over on the images for the show.
Shit. Look like a serial killer and shit.
Like a 4-year-old. What was it that you drew the picture for?
Oh, for the single that we did, Self-Trepidation.
Oh yeah. We put out the single.
You put like a stick figure head, and it looked like a pistol, like a hand, like you were holding your fingers up to the head. It was supposed to be a drill. He just started laughing. He goes, "No, I'll come up with something. Don't worry about it."
Once we get enough songs in for an album, we can make that the album.
We can put that as the liner notes and shit.
The image.
If we ever do a video, we could throw that in there somewhere.
Oh no, I say the next one we'll do a video.
Shit, it's taking us fucking months to do.
Might be 2025, but there'll be a video.
Yeah. So I'll be retired pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, then you have plenty of time to do stuff.
So yeah. All right. Well, so that's what we're doing. We're still working on the song. We haven't given up. It's just with our schedules, it just takes us longer.
Yeah.
So, but
well, we kind of started bickering on the last one, so that happens because we're brothers.
Yeah.
When we were younger, it was a lot of that, like the same shit as like the Gallagher brothers.
Yeah, only alcohol was involved, so it got much worse.
There was alcohol involved with those guys too. I mean, I think they were a lot worse though, because they would get into fist fights. We would just get into shoving matches. But yeah, we never hit each other. But yeah, we'd get into it and bicker and just argue. So that shit still comes up. I mean, we're grown now and old, but once in a while, just you have difference of opinion.
And it kind of creeps back in there.
Yeah.
So all right, no, that's cool. We'll do that then.
All right.
So we'll get into the news here. Let me see.
Well, I got news for you.
There's that one, or there's which one did you say?
That one.
That sounds kind of like a smoke alarm.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking like the old, but that's showing age again, like in the late 70s and 80s. And now time for the news, and they do that shit, but
Yeah. Well, and then they used to have that one. What was?
but nowadays that's kind of archaic, right? Because
Yeah, I don't think nobody's like younger. They're not going to know what the hell that is.
you were born in the last 30 years.
Yeah. So, but no, that's cool. So you got a story you want to start out with?
What, for the news?
Yeah,
Um,
because I got some stuff that I wrote down, some notes.
no, why don't you go first then? You wrote stuff down.
All right. Well, I think we brought it up before in one of the podcasts, not specific to them, but anyway, Iron Maiden came out with their second single off, I guess, that new album that's could be coming out next month. And the single is Stratego. So it's got like Eddie in a samurai helmet. That's like the picture for the track.
Oh yeah, I've seen that image. Yeah, he
So,
looked. I thought they made him in like a ninja or something.
yeah, that pretty much. Yeah, I guess they're taking like a Japanese slant on this album.
Yeah.
So they got Eddie in the samurai helmet. But hey, listen to Simon. It's Iron Maiden. If I listened to it twice, the first time to hear it, and then kind of take it in again. Yeah, I mean, you could tell right away it's Iron Maiden. It has the sound.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't really do much for me. Then like, oh wow, I've been waiting.
Yeah.
But I know maybe I'll give the album a chance when they release the album, and then kind of get the whole overall feel. I
Yeah,
seen the.
I like
Did you?
Iron Maiden, but I've never been like. I mean, you got Maiden fans, you got diehards that are, they know everything about them, and yeah, I've never been that, because when I was younger, I didn't really like Dickinson singing. I didn't like the
Oh yeah, it has operatic fucking sound.
yeah, the operatic thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Even actually Priest, like I didn't. It took a while for them to grow on me, but now I love them. I mean, they're great bands.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. So I haven't even checked out this song.
I mean, I guess you could say. I mean, you hear it in the music, and oh, that's a Maiden song.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're like some of these bands. They'll go like a different route, and they'll try something totally new to and it just doesn't work, or especially like you said, like diehard fans don't like it. But like I think they'll like this because it just it sounds like Maiden. It's Maiden.
Maiden doing what Maiden does, and yeah, you get
So you could kind of say maybe they're keeping it safe. I don't know. I mean, they're older now too. So,
but at this point, it's like they got across the world, they got tons of fans. I mean, they fly around in their own 747, so they're doing good. Yeah, why change it? It ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing it. I mean, people love it. So
yeah, if you haven't checked that out, you could check that out. Called Stratego. So that's the second track, and I guess the new album they said in September, they're gonna throw out the whole album. Which I don't know why they're trickling out these singles, like one a month.
Yeah,
they should just, nowadays with the streaming and everything, you just throw out the album.
Well, I think that's why, because I've been thinking about doing that. Just if you put out like a full album, you take all that time to record it. It takes months to record it, mix it, master it, and then there's the hype, and it as soon as it gets dropped, then that's it. It's over, because nowadays stuff doesn't last as long. Everything comes, there's so much out there with the internet that it goes away real quick. So it's kind of smart. Drop one song, then next month drop another. Just keep doing that, and then you release the album finally. But you stay in the news, at least for however long you're doing it, how many ever months.
Yeah, I guess
that's kind of become the new way. because you hear about bands, oh, new album came out, and then boom, it's gone and it's over. There's what other promotion are you gonna do?
Yeah. And then now with the touring's all fucked up because some of these bands are starting to tour and then some of them aren't because they're not ready yet.
Or some are they schedule and then they're canceling.
Yeah, some of the shows to where they're going, they're canceled depending on the state and the restrictions.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads into the next story. Slipknot, we were talking about them last episode. Slipknot's Corey Taylor, lead singer, he's got AIDS. I don't know. He's got COVID. I don't know. I recant that. Don't sue us.
I can put you on the brain. I always do.
Was that on purpose?
No, that was just slipped out. I was looking at my notes and I see that it said COVID-19 and I went to say it and it just came out. So,
No.
but yeah, no, he's got COVID.
Damn.
So I guess they're held up now.
I was gonna do there was. I had
There you go. See?
Yeah, I'm definitely slow at this stuff. He doesn't have AIDS. Good news, he doesn't have AIDS.
Sweet Jesus.
So,
COVID-19, yeah.
I don't know. In the news story, it didn't really say much again. It just, basically said that was the gist of it. He has it. So I don't know if they were going to cancel a tour or what they're just waiting now.
Well, they probably just waited out, right? I mean, wasn't he did it say if he was vaccinated?
No.
Because they say with the vaccinations, it you get less of a it's just a less of a hit. It's just like a cold. But I don't know.
Yeah, but then I've heard some people with the vaccinations, they said they've died. So that's a pretty big hit. I mean,
yeah, some people, very few, but yes. I mean, any vaccinations there's always side effects. And that's too. It's like, yeah, if you got ailments or whatever, check with your doctor first. Don't just listen to these idiots on TV. Don't listen.
Then I hear that you stop getting your period when you get the vaccine. So
and if you're a man, you grow a uterus, I heard.
No, and the other one that I heard is you could put a magnet, like say you get the shot in your arm, you could put a magnet right there to where you got the injection, and it'll stick.
No, I've heard that one too. That fucking magnet one,
but I haven't seen it disproved, so who knows?
No, I've gotten it, and the magnet doesn't work.
Did you stop getting your period?
I grew labia and a uterus.
You got a fur bush going down there.
do these labia hang out?
Your balls are showing.
Perfect. I was gonna hit that if I had it.
Oh shit. So anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking he's relatively healthy from what I know. He's not like he didn't have like some disease because you would have heard that. So I think he just, got to wait out, like you said, take a couple weeks off.
Yeah,
quarantine.
He stopped drinking, I think, a few years ago. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do anything like that.
No heroin.
No heroin. I mean, I used to love shooting up Drano, but
Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, so but yeah, I haven't looked at the article too. That's all I say. He's got it. And
yeah, these reporters don't really do their fucking job anymore. Because a lot of these articles are like 2, paragraph long.
Because a lot of this stuff too is just piggybacked off of something else.
Else.
And they read it, and one person writes it, and then everybody just runs with it. And then they're all saying the same thing. I mean, that's the downfall like media nowadays. They do that. They just piggyback off each other. So if somebody the initial guy got it wrong, they're all getting it wrong,
Yeah.
But
and I guess if they don't really know firsthand, they're not going to put themselves out there. So they just kind of repeat the basics of it.
Yeah.
And then speaking of releasing albums, got a couple more bands that haven't really been in the news lately. Exodus is releasing an album in December, but they just released their new first single off it. The album's called Persona Non Grata. And I listened to the single. I forget, The Beginnings Will Continue. I think that's the name of it. I should have wrote it down. That was my bad. Have you heard it?
They released it?
Yeah, they released the single because I seen it on YouTube. They have like a video.
Yeah.
And it was all right. I mean, haven't heard Exodus in a while. And they said it was their first album in like 7 years. So it's been a while for them. And I didn't know it showed Gary Holt. So he's back in Exodus now.
Yeah, because he was always in Exodus still. Even when
he was with Slayer though, right?
In Slayer, but he's always still in Exodus.
Oh, okay.
When they were on break with Slayer, Exodus would put out a new album. So yeah, Gary's been with them.
Huh.
Never left. It's
because a picture of him showed Gary, and I was like, well, I guess he came back. Well, and then I figured, well, yeah, Slayer stopped, so
yeah.
But I hadn't heard nothing about that, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's been there the whole time. He never left, and I think they put out 1 or 2 albums while he was with Slayer.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at their, let me say, discography. Yeah, they put out a few. Because when did he join Slayer? Like in the teens, right?
Yeah, it was what, like 15, I think.
15, somewhere around there. But yeah, they put out no. The last album they put out looks like 2014, Exodus.
Huh.
Well,
yeah, they said 7 years in the article, so that would be right.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't. Well, he was in Slayer.
Yeah, I guess they didn't write new stuff, but they did go out. I remember, like, I've heard Gary on different interviews and stuff saying, yeah, he never left Exodus, and they would play shows, but maybe that's just it. When he wasn't touring with Slayer, Exodus would go do stuff.
Huh.
But they just didn't put out the albums.
So yeah, no, the video is pretty cool. And like I said, I haven't heard shit from them, for a while, but then I'm not like following them every day like a groupie.
Well, and the drummer's going through, I don't know if he's still battling cancer, but he got cancer. So
yeah, I mean, everybody's getting cancer now.
I know, but they announced that when around the time when Steve passed, they announced, he got cancer. So he's been under treatment and stuff. I think he's doing good. I think he's fighting it, but I'm not, I don't know for sure.
Damn. So yeah, and then in the article did mention that they just talked about their release, and so the album they're going to release is in December. So I don't know why they're releasing the single now, because it's still like the summer.
Remember they used to do that, like we were talking about with releasing songs and albums.
Yeah,
this is what they used to do. That's the old format. Like you'd release 1 or 2 songs like 4 or 5 months ahead of the album to get the hype building.
Yeah,
and drop the album, and then there's all that hype. Everybody wants it, but there's no like one place to listen to music. It just goes away real quick. So yeah, to release this far ahead is kind of I don't know. It seems too early to me, you know, especially in modern day. Just people don't listen to the radio.
Yeah, the attention span is just boom.
Yeah, an attention span, because there's so much to absorb and take in that you don't want to do it. It's like if you're going to drop it, boom, hit them with it. And maybe, you keep doing it monthly, or every couple months, another, batch of songs or something.
Yeah.
The whole record format thing needs to be rethought about, I don't think you really need to put out an album nowadays, but what do I know, because you used to have the album and you'd listen to it and then they tour on it, which is thing, because that's the pattern. But
but nowadays it's mostly singles anyway, so
yeah,
I don't know. And then like what we said we're going to do is just put it out when we get it, so
we
just put a single here, a single there.
It'll just be singles when we drop them out,
although the way we're going to do like one a year, I guess. So
figure it out.
And then going along with that story, there's another release, U.D.O from Accept. Remember Balls to the Walls fame? He's got a new album with his band called U.D.O. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I might be pronouncing it wrong.
Isn't it U.D.O?
U.D.O. I don't know. Sound like a noodle to me.
I've always called him U.D.O.
U.D.O. Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I apologize if
I've
I'm
heard Eddie Trunk call him U.D.O. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they have it here, U.D.O, like an acronym.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah,
always
no, that's his band. I guess he just took his name. Yeah, and then he put periods in between the letters.
yeah, because U.D.O, actually, I used to work with a guy named U.D.O, and he's a German from Germany. Like he was an immigrant. So yeah, I think that's a very German name. It's U.D.O.
So yeah, it sounds like a Japanese noodle.
Could be.
Either way. But yeah, so I get in the article it said that he's got his kid is playing drums for him, which is kind of cool. And so I listened to that single. It's called Kids and Guns. And it was all right, had that Accept sound to it, kind of that old school metal, European metal.
Yeah.
And of course I listened to the drums and I heard it was his son. It sounded pretty good.
Huh.
So
his son's the drummer, huh?
Yeah.
That's trippy.
No self-trepidation, but not everybody can do that.
Actually, that ties into to one. Yeah, I would like to comment on a story.
Yeah.
I was reading with Wolfgang, and everybody wanted him to play Eddie's parts in Van Halen and reform Van Halen. It's like, man, leave the kid alone. It's like, he's gonna make a career trying to be his dad. He's got, I don't know if have you heard his songs?
Was it Mammoth, huh? Is his
Mammoth.
band?
WVH.
I've heard a couple clips. I haven't sat there and listened to, which I should probably.
There's one song that they're playing like as a single that I keep hearing. It's a good song, and from what I've heard, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna check out the whole album. Dude, he's a good musician. He wrote everything. He did it all. So why go try to be his dad? He just be him. I think everybody just needs to just get over it.
He should just go be a trash man, really. Because that must be hard as shit being in Eddie Van Halen's shadow. Like you're saying.
Yeah,
So,
no, it'd probably be better to go do something totally different. But
yeah, but yeah, if he loves music, I think it's cool if he got a new band going.
Yeah,
he's not using the Van Halen name for it. So
no, he's not. He's using that Mammoth, which I guess was their I guess the Van Halen would call themselves Mammoth when they play a secret gig or something. I don't know. It has a family history tied to Van Halen. So, but whatever. His dad said he's cool with it before he passed. And yeah, his music's good. He's a good songwriter. So it's like, nah, just create your own life and, let the kid do what he wants,
Well, I heard a story about that. A lot of them, I guess the guys that are close to him, they always want him to bring out Eddie's guitar, the famous one, the Franken, whatever. And because I guess they keep it in in a safe now.
Yeah.
But then the story was that when Eddie had it, he was using it. He just throw that shit around.
Yeah.
And everybody that knew him was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're just throwing it on the couch and shit." He's like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit."
You don't care. Yeah. It's like, this is an old beat-up guitar, man.
Yeah.
One of the yellow and black ones buried with Dimebag.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Eddie put in the casket with him. He buried Dimebag with his yellow and black guitar.
Damn.
Which is iconic. It's been in videos and
Yeah.
So it's like,
wasn't it in Striper too? One of their videos. Because they always had they look like fucking bumblebees and shit.
Yeah, they were yellow and black.
Yeah, yellow and black. They had the little outfits going in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't know much about Striper. That's yeah, but I seen that. It's like, dude, just let him do his own stuff. His stuff's good. Just keep doing it.
I'm gonna have to go listen to his shit now.
Yeah, it's catchy and it sounds modern and current. So,
So
but
that's cool.
So what else you got?
And then let's see. we're going down the bottom of the list here. We got the Battle of the Crust going. I don't know if you heard about this one. Apparently, David Lee Roth and Gene Simmons are going at it in some kind of feud.
Yeah.
It's like they had the pictures on there. I was like, these guys are what, like 70? Why is this fucking news? You know?
Well, because there's the original producer. I think he was on. I heard him on Eddie Trunk talking. There's bad blood between them two because Gene Simmons found them and
he found Van Halen. He discovered
played guitar in Kiss, and he's like, "No, I won't do it without my brother." So, yeah, I think I forget the exact story, but Gene Simmons, like, they're playing and they had tickets for everybody to get in, and he snuffed David Lee Roth because he let him in to a venue or something like that. So they have a history of going at each other.
But what was weird is the article said that I guess right before the COVID broke out, when Kiss was on their final tour again, their 18th final tour.
Yeah,
they had David Lee Roth was opening for them.
They had him opening, yeah.
And then then the tour got postponed because of the COVID. So I guess now they're getting ready to go back on tour, but they didn't ask David to come back.
Yeah,
because of their fighting or some shit. But I don't know.
They've been bickering on and off for what 40, 50 years.
So it's like
they think, it goes and comes. It's like people that you're like, fuck that guy. But then you got to work with them sometimes and you go, whatever. So he pissing me off again. But yeah, they have history because he tried to steal Eddie Van Halen and David Lee Roth, there's a lot of stuff that I forget what the book was. I was listening to the guy talk about how the producer from the first album, he wanted to replace David Lee Roth with Sammy Hagar. And he had mentioned it to them, and they're like, "Huh." But no, we can't.
So he planted the seed.
It was funny when I heard that. I'm like, whoa, really? He mentioned Sammy Hagar before the first Van Halen album?
So he gave Eddie the idea.
So, yeah, I mean, he's like, you ever guys think about Sammy Hagar? This guy could sing. He would sing your songs really good. And because Dave was a hell of a performer, a hell of a frontman. And I don't know what, man, I guess the producers didn't like his singing, but I always loved his vocals on, those albums.
Yeah, the early Van Halen, he was a showman with his performances.
And that's the other thing. And actually, that's one of the things in that article on it that I read, the same one on Blabbermouth, that it complimented him on his just a showman. Like, he would entertain. It's look at me as the lead singer, and that's what he would do. So, but Dave was just keeps getting the shit in the stick. Poor guy. Very eccentric though, too. If you haven't listened to him, listen to Rogan interview him. Yeah. He's done a couple of interviews with David Lee Roth, and man, the guy is out there. But he's very, very smart. It's just I don't know if it's a gimmick or just how his mind works. It's just a little different,
Huh. Well, now he's very, very old.
Yeah, but he's done hella shit. He went to Japan for years. He's got a full tattoo bodysuit like the Japanese do.
Yeah.
Studied mixed martial arts, and he was a paramedic for a few years in New York City, and nobody knew it was David Lee Roth. And this is like in the 90s.
Man.
So this is David Lee Roth, and he's a paramedic. But he's like, he would show up to people, they'd go into, really poor areas or whatever, 911 calls or whatever. So most of those people didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
He cut his hair and everything. But yeah, he's led a really eccentric life. And whereas most people that are rock stars don't go and do a 9-to-5 job like that, and then go learn mixed martial arts and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. He's a very interesting guy, but he's always getting the shaft kind of from other people.
Well, it sounds like he pisses people off.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. He's probably pushing buttons. So
yeah. I mean, I like him. I mean, I was a Van Halen guy, not a Van Hagar. And I like Sammy too, but he was good with Van Halen, but it just wasn't the same,
Yeah, see, because I'm a little younger,
Yeah. So you like
I was introduced to the early Van Halen stuff through you, but by the time I was when did Hagar come in? 85, 86?
85. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like 11.
No, 86. Well, yeah, about that time because 1984 is when David Lee Roth put out that EP,
Yeah. Because
and then that split it. Yeah.
Then he's put out the EP with Just a Gigolo and all that shit. And then, yeah, so like 85, 86, it was, yeah, I was like 11 or 12. So I grew up on the Hagar stuff too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a total generational thing because I hear talk shows and like Eddie Trunk, and he'll be like, no, it's Roth era, all the way. But it's like, nah, there's great stuff with Hagar too. But it's when what you were exposed to them. So
Yeah. I like them both. I mean, but if I had to pick,
yeah,
I would say Van Halen with Roth. But that's
yeah. Well, he was
his ass too.
way more of a showman. I mean, that dude, yeah.
But now Sammy could play guitar.
Yeah, that added that other dynamic to it.
Yeah. And
So-
what did Bill say? My good friend of mine, he used to say, well, it was Sammy Hagar, but he just got a better band. Which was kind of true. I mean,
well, yeah, if you think about it.
yeah. So anyway, the last story I got, I don't know if you got anything. We'll get into it, is Metallica. Remember we talked about the Metallica's coming out with a podcast. Well, I guess they released it this week finally. So I listened to it while I was out walking my dog. Anyway, I mean, it's Metallica. And the first one is about way back, how they started, how Lars, when he put out that classic ad and he got Hetfield. So they went into that a little more in depth and kind of their mindset. And then they talked about some of the early members, like when they first were just jamming.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good because there was some stories there that I hadn't heard before.
Yeah, I listened to it also. It's I get into that stuff. I mean, I've heard all of these stories like probably 1,000 times, but Metallica, when I finally found Metallica, I was like, that was my band when I was a kid. That was I was always looking for something heavier and heavier and heavier. And when I first heard Fight Fire with Fire, I was like, oh, this is what I like. So yeah. And then, being a Castro Valley kid, taking lessons from the same the teacher as Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff Burton.
Dude, I'm total. So I know all these stories, but yeah, no, it's entertaining. It's always good to hear the behind the scenes and what motivates people and what they did. And it's kind of funny because this era is almost like a modern day version of the tape trading thing.
Yeah.
Like you can get these platforms and you can release your own music and make it in your bedroom and put it out there, and people start sharing it and trading it, and next thing you know, it catches on if it's good enough.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah.
What it made me think of is, when I first heard of them, because it was a freshman in high school. We used to go. I went to Catholic school, so we used to go. Me and my two buddies, we used to go down the hill because our high school was on this hill. We used to go park down the hill before school and smoke cigarettes. That was, yeah. And one of my buddies, he started hanging out with this one guy because we were both. It was in Oakland, was my high school. It was a Catholic high school, but we grew up in Hayward, Castro Valley. It was East Bay. It was like the suburbs of Oakland. And so he met this one guy that he started hanging out with, and he would bring him around like on the weekends, Mike O'Neill. And this guy, because at the time I wasn't corrupted yet. I hadn't started drinking or nothing, but I started smoking cigarettes. So this is like my downfall.
Yeah, you're on the way.
Yeah. And so this guy, we went to pick him up one time after school, and this Tanguma, my buddy and Mike, and he's like, yeah, this guy's hella cool, Mike O'Neill. Yeah, you'll like him. And we went to like these projects because that's where he was living. And then he had just said how he got out of prison. But I mean, he wasn't like in federal prison. He was like in county for like a week or 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But so he came out, he was this rocker guy. He kind of looked like Cliff Burton. He had the jean jacket and the jeans, fucking bell bottoms, and he had the long hair. He's a white guy. He looked like a meth head, which he basically was. He liked to do lines. and, and he was a little older than us, of course, because we were still in high school. And I was like a freshman. So I was like, wow, this, I was like being exposed to all this shit. But I remember he had the tape because that's how they did it back then. They'd have their little demo and they would just pass it around and people would make copies and pass them around. And he had got a copy of the Metallica demo and he would play it for us. And at the time I was, like I said, I was into Scorpions. So I thought I was into, hard shit. And then they would he'd put in the cassette player, he'd play that fucking Metallica. And I remember I was like one of those guys that hear Slayer for the first time. And they're just like, what is that noise? Like, I can't understand it because your ear's not trained to it or nothing. So yeah, at first it just sounded like noise, but the more you keep playing it, you start getting used to it. And then you start making out some of the lyrics and it's like, wow. And then then you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my introduction to that real like thrash speed metal, or I guess it weren't speed metal, but thrash metal.
Yeah.
That little hard they took it up a level.
Yeah, the thrash. I mean, they were the biggest thrash band ever. So
yeah, so that's what got me into them. Started listening to them. But yeah, when I was listening to podcasts, they were talking the early days when they were in Frisco. And then I started to remember, well, yeah, back then that's when I fucking first heard it, with Mike O'Neill. That was his name. Because at first I couldn't remember his name because I'm fucking old. And then I kept thinking about it, and then fucking click. Oh, Mike O'Neill, that was his name. And the guy was actually a pretty cool guy. He was mellow and shit.
yeah.
He kind of had a bad rep, and he was like he liked lines. So,
But you got to actually hear that actual demo that got them signed. That's trippy. I've never heard about it, but I've never heard it. I have a copy of the Metal Massacre.
Yeah,
and
well, that's when I went to find that one because from the original demo that they had, that he had a copy. Then he was all into him already, so he like knew was a band. He would talk about Mustaine because I remember then shortly after that, it was what 82, 83 when they do Ride the Lightning when they got Kirk
was they got signed in 83, 84.
So it was 84.
Yeah.
So we were listening to Kill 'Em All.
Well, they got hurt right before Kill 'Em All. 83.
Yeah, well, they were recording Ride the Lightning. That's when they kicked Mustaine out when they were in New York.
No, they kicked him out when they went to record the first album. So that's why Mustaine's on like all the titles of the songs and the writing.
But he was in a couple of them on the Ride the Lightning too.
Because that's why he didn't get into the Hall of Fame. He didn't get. They invited him to come on and everything, but he wasn't inducted in the Hall of Fame because he never played on a Metallica album. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they got to New York to start working on recording that album, and they gave him a bus ride home.
Yeah, I remember they cut him when they were recorded.
Yeah. So that was the first album. Then they knew because they had just moved up here. This all actually they cover a lot of this too in the what the heck is it's a movie about thrash. Damn it, now I can't think of it. I mentioned on past podcasts that we've done. But yeah, I think it's Murder in the Front Row. I think it is. But anyways,
you mentioned it. I had seen that one. And then they kind of talk about it too, and like Cliff 'Em All, and you go back to that.
Yeah, they talk like you get through all the different stories, but yeah, they were playing in LA, and then they'd come up here and Exodus. They would play shows with Exodus. Slayer would come up here and play shows with Exodus and stuff. So they knew Kurt Hammett from Exodus, and that's why they called Kurt. They're like, well, Kurt can play, so let's get him out here. And Dave Mustaine's, well, when's my plane leaving? They're like, well, here's a bus ticket. You don't get a plane, you get a bus ticket.
And if you see that with their later documentary, Some Kind of Monster, where they're all having a bitch session, they kind of try to put closure on that whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, like Lars and Dave have talked, and I think they now are cool, but there's still just between him and James. I think there's still some. I mean, even if you go to like Blabbermouth today, there's still Mustaine explains why he was jealous of Metallica. I think it's fucking obvious why he's jealous of Metallica because they're the biggest fucking metal band on the planet, and he didn't get a chance to 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 really do it. But you know, he knows it was his fault.
Yeah.
He was a bad drunk, and he said it. If you watch the Megadeth documentaries, he'll say he was a bad drunk. He'd get drunk and just become an asshole, and they would fucking start fighting. So it's like that ain't gonna last long, man. So it's like we don't even know why you're jealous of Metallica. Fuck, you were right there, and then you didn't get it. So
Yeah, then you
but
had
they took some of the songs. They kept the songs on Kill 'Em All and recorded them without them.
yeah. Well, and then you look at his album with his first album with Megadeth, where he rehashed it.
Yeah, the
mechanic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no, he wasn't bitter at all. So
he's like, well, that was my song. Well, and even another dick move was by the time they got to Ride the Lightning, I think one or two of those songs.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I remember he had credit on those.
Oh, because they were playing those songs for years, and they're like, fuck it, we're keeping this song. Fuck it. Fuck that guy. We're keeping that song. It's like that. Remember we were jamming. What the hell was the one guy, the Filipino guy? Don.
Don ago.
Don, yeah. Remember he had that pretty cool like riff, and then we're like, well, fuck it, we're keeping that. See,
No, but we asked him. We said, well, because he came and said he wanted to leave.
He says quit.
And we've been working on that song for fucking like what, 8 months or something.
We've been playing it, and
then we said, well, can we keep that song? And he's like, well, yeah, I don't care. You guys can have that.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is that he quit. You know, he was leaving.
We didn't kick him out.
He playing the song. They just kicked him out, took his songs. That's fucking dick. Hey, but you know, every major band has stories. Look at Led Zeppelin; they were ripping off all the blues guys and plagiarizing them, saying they were their songs.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Yeah,
exactly. That was a Led Zeppelin song.
Everybody rips off everybody in a way. I mean, that's the way it is, though. You know, you get influenced, so that shit comes out when you write shit.
Well, and the thing is, like, as a band, and like, I don't know if like anybody who listens that's not in a band, or you know, you put in time, like you were saying, we put in time with him like 8 months, and you play these songs week after week after week, and then it's like, well, somebody's gonna cut loose. So what? Oh, this piece was yours, and this piece was yours. We're just gonna take our pieces and leave. No, you meet the band. You help build that.
Yeah.
That's there. It's going in, it's staying in that band. And that's what happens a lot of times. But, and then of course, then that's when lawyers come out and sometimes people sue. And I'm sure they paid him off, and he's getting royalties from it. So, because he got
right. And not only that, in Megadeth, I mean, because that's his band.
Yeah.
He's been a dick to fucking some of the members there.
Dick.
You know, so he's returned the favor there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then, well, like he just kicked out David Elfson. I mean, I don't know.
That sounds sketchy as hell, that story, because nobody's coming out and saying exactly.
Yeah.
And from the what's come out, it doesn't seem like enough to fucking kick him out of the band for.
No, and especially as all the time they've been, you know.
Yeah, he was one of the original members. So it's like,
him and Mustaine, and he like shit went down with them. Like he left the band, and then I guess Mustaine, he signed over rights for Mustaine to have the whole thing, Megadeth. But it was him and Mustaine that owned Megadeth.
Yeah.
But and then he signed his rights away, and then now he's fucking ass out, I guess, or dick out.
So I think he did something that pissed Mustaine off. It had to be. Because if it was a personal matter, like they say it is,
yeah,
that had nothing to do with the band. Like it wasn't like, you know,
around Mustaine's daughter, because Mustaine has a young 20-some-year-old daughter.
Yeah, because that's true. They didn't say who the chick was.
Well, no, but the chick supposedly was like some like European. I don't remember which country or whatever. And they were saying she was legal, but she was only like 18. So it's like, who knows? Maybe Mustaine a few times says, you know what? I saw him talking to my daughter. Kind of was like sketchy. Who knows? I mean, you don't know. It's all speculation, but
yeah.
I mean, no charges have been brought against him. He didn't break the law. So
and he's even saying he's suing.
Yeah.
Because he feels he was wronged in that whole situation.
Yeah. If she's 18, is it proper? Is it cool? It's like, yeah, it's kind of creepy, dude, but it's legal. You know, he didn't break the law, but we're in this
But you're
culture.
rock stars too. All
Yeah.
that shit always goes on. Like I've heard stories of Steven Tyler that he had got some young chick pregnant back when the first time they had made it big in the 70s. And he was living with that chick and she was like 14.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he just had the money, so he paid her off. The family didn't give a shit because you know he paid her off.
It was a rock
Paid
star.
the family off.
I think same thing with Ted Nugent too. Wasn't his first girlfriend? She was like 17 when he was dating her. I mean, they've all done that. I'm sure
There's a lot of them that have done that kind of shit.
just nowadays that, it's not cool to talk about that stuff. It's like, get the fuck on. People are people, and we've been here for fucking how long? How many thousands and thousands of years? It's gonna happen. It's gonna, this cancel culture shit. You know what you do? Just ignore it. Yeah. Just go, whatever. Get on. Get on, dude. Get on.
Motherfuck.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. You said it. So so anyway, bring it back around. What was I thinking? I just lost my train. See, this is what happens when you get old. Lose your train of thought.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
But well, we were talking about Metallica and we went off into Megadeth.
Well, okay, yeah, getting back to Metallica, the podcast is basically brought on because of the anniversary of the Black Album, right?
Well, and that's what the little trailer, they had like a 2-minute trailer that I had first heard.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. You hear Lars talking, of course, about, it was great when we came, doing his shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. They're going to get like an in-depth on the Black Album. But then this first episode, they went way back to the beginning, which actually was cool, but I didn't see it coming from the way they're kind of advertising it,
It looks like, because the way it made it sound like this podcast was going to be all about the Black Album. But okay, no, I think they're using it as to pump the Black Album anniversary. But they're just going to go through everything. That's what it seems like. Because this first episode, they were like way back in the beginning before they were signed. So,
and then did you catch that though? Because they started talking a little bit about Justice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you're Jason, you got to feel like shit because they basically admit, we fucked up with.
Dude, I've heard stories. Actually, Lars even admitting, I think it was on Eddie Trunk, where they listened to the album, right? And they went back like 10 years later, or whatever, and listened to it. And it's like, what the fuck? Where's the bass? Yeah, but even Lars admits, like, I just kept turning the kicks up, and it's weird because that album has a lot of bass. It has a lot of bass, but it's all the lows of the guitars.
Yeah,
because remember freaking Wano? He used to pump that Justice for All album in his little mini truck. Yeah. We had a friend when I was in high school that had a mini truck with the subwoofers and all that shit. And he would drive down the road, boom, 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 boom. And he would blast Justice for All and Justice for All. And because there was a lot of bass in there. But it's funny that they said there's no bass. It's because the instrument was buried. The actual lines weren't there. And then they usually like that low subwoofy shit that comes out of the guitars. That's usually EQ'd out. Then that's usually where the bass lives. But I guess for whatever purpose, it was the James and Lars show.
Yeah. Yeah. They went wild with it. Girls Gone Wild.
Well, it's that shit where you go, let's do something different, and you think you're onto something, and you're smelling your own farts.
Yeah.
Just,
you know, passing it back and forth.
Because even I think the engineer was interviewed, and he had said, I kept telling him, look, this is not good.
It's ass.
It's ass. The bass should be in there. And you got, there's too much. It's not. And they're like, no, this way we want it. It's like, whatever. Okay.
I wish somebody would have, they would have done that with Saint Anger.
Yeah, no, and then they did it
double ass.
And then they did it again. Frickin' was Anger. Oh, and then the same shit they were talking about in that podcast were like, and we listen, we'd hear everybody say everything, and finally we get it. Okay, all right. And it's like, Well, yeah, and then you went and did it again with Saint Anger, and then I've seen him in Lars in interviews going, "I know the snare. I know. I've heard about the snare."
Snare, the whole fucking thing. And then they didn't have no solos. They fucking fucked Kirk. Kirk was pissed about that because there was no solos.
Yeah, he was bitching about that the whole time. He's like, "Dude." Then he's like, solos are dated. They're not this era. He's like, yeah, but I'm not doing them. Now you're dating them to this era.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dated because it's gonna be like, oh, this is the no solo era. He's like, so just do it.
Yeah.
Like, nope, no solos. Yeah, it's but the cool thing was yeah, they got their heads out their asses. I don't know, Justice was it was an awesome record. But the Black Album was just huge, and a lot of it too was Bob Rock. And
yeah, they brought on Bob Rock,
and yeah, and he had produced Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood album. He'd produced a lot of great albums. The guy's an awesome producer.
Loverboy,
loving every minute. Well, that's because he's Canadian. I think he had to.
Whitesnake, didn't he? Whitesnake was.
Did he? Probably. I mean,
I think it was Whitesnake too. There was a couple of them.
He's
they were like big albums, but yeah.
I probably should have looked up his, but hey, we all got the internet. You can look it up.
Yeah, we do got the internet.
Fucking internet.
So, but that kind of leads into our Turn It Up segment.
All right.
Right?
Go ahead. Let's hit.
It's now time for Turn It Up.
Yeah.
That's nice. And you should win a Grammy for that.
Oh, that's right.
It's really good too. I like it.
I'm glad you like it. I tried to make it crusty. I was going to make it more like the hair metal bands, but then I was like, maybe I'm gonna make it a little more crusty.
Yeah.
Like kind of late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, thanks. Glad you like it. Yeah, so tonight we're doing Motley Crue.
Yep. The Crew Boys.
I remember like we're talking about the tape trading and stuff. My friend had the tape and he recorded me a copy of Shout at the Devil. And I was like, I think 10 when I got it. No, maybe like 9.
I had it. You should have just asked me for it.
Yeah, but you don't give tapes back. You wouldn't even dub me a copy. You would have kept a copy that you dubbed me and gave it to your friend.
I would have borrowed your copy.
You'd borrow my copy and give it to somebody else. So I just remember, I had got it and it from my friend, and then I was listening a lot. And I remember the friend you were talking about, Mike Tanguma. I remember you and him came on one day, and I was listening. He's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "Motley Crue." It's like, "You ever seen those guys? Those dudes are freaks." You ever see them? I'm like, "No," because I didn't have the album. I had it recorded. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, so I saw them on MTV. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of freaky, but everybody was doing that now. It was MTV era. So
yeah, that was
saying that those dudes are freaks.
And then, and then we just kept getting into harder shit.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing. Yeah.
They were saying those guys are pussies.
Because I was in a Motley Crue. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is heavy, right? And then I think maybe a year or so later or maybe even not that far along. Soon after, my friend had Ride the Lightning. So that's the first Metallica album I had. But yeah, and then I'm like, oh, this is heavier. Yeah. But yeah, I loved Motley Crue when they formed 1981 in LA. I guess they were considered a hair metal band or glam metal. But these dudes, they were no joke, man. They were like a gang. They would get into fights and brawls. They're wearing makeup, but they would fight, man.
Yeah.
And these dudes are nuts. Yeah, Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee, Mick Mars, and Vince Neil. Now there's been a few change ups throughout the years, but it's all the same four now. I think they did one album without Vince. That was the actual Motley Crue album. I think that was in 1984, I think. And then
no, that was later, wasn't it?
No, not 94. Yeah. And actually, I like that album with John Corabi. It's a pretty good album.
I never heard that one because by that time I was out of it. Well, In the 90s, though, too, we were already on to other shit.
Oh yeah, we were by that time we were in Pantera, Slayer. Yeah, we were. Let's see, 94. I was 20. No, we hadn't met Bo Staff yet. We met Violence.
Yeah. Machine Head, 94.
Machine Head, that's when
they came out.
Yeah, but the reason I listened to that album, I had a friend. I used to work at UPS at that time, and I had a coworker, and he loved Motley Crue, so he was always talking about them. And then, so he had the tape, and he lent it to me, and I checked it out. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. So, but yeah, so Karabi sang on that one, and then they got Vince Neil back. I think Tommy Lee had left for a period of time from like 99. 2005, and then he came back because that's when Tommy Lee started doing his DJ shit, and then he started up another band.
Was that Power Man 5000 or something?
No, that's another Power Man 5000. I think that's Rob Zombie's younger brother.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, he did something with a number in it. I remember that.
He did two things. Well, I know what was that? The one because he had one kind of hit video. I don't know, it was around the 2000s. But yeah, so they left for a while, but Nikki Sixx has always been there. He's the guy that put the band together. He's the driver of the band. And then let's see. Yeah, they've had 7 platinum or multi-platinum albums. They've had 9 albums in the top 10, 9 top 10 albums in the Billboard 200 charts. So these guys are huge. And of course, they had a movie made about them. They wrote the book, The Dirt, and then the movie was named The Dirt after the book. I read the book. It's nothing like the movie. In the movie, some of the timelines are jacked, but it's a movie, so it's entertaining.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. Like that very beginning scene where his girlfriend squirts. Yeah. That was Tommy Lee. If you read The Dirt, the book's really good. He used to have this van, and he had this girlfriend, and apparently she used to like squirt. So everybody that would get in that van be like, dude, this fucking van stinks. It stinks. And Tommy Lee didn't care. He's a dirty fucker. And I guess apparently at one point Vince had gotten thrown out of his house, or he had lost his place to live. So Tommy let him sleep in the driveway in his van. So Vince was sleeping in that shit. He didn't care.
I do not want to touch his ass.
Oh, but you were gonna.
Yeah. At some point, his ass would have been everywhere in that van.
So yeah, I mean, that was one thing I read from that. There's so much debauchery with those guys, dude. They might have been glam and putting on makeup, but they were tough as fuck, man.
There's a lot of fucking going on.
Yeah. Yeah, there was.
Well, and then later with Pamela, he had that sex tape that got all famous.
Sex tape that got stolen from us. They were having work done on their house, and they're remodeling, and they just stole the whole safe.
Like I put you on the brain. I always do.
He released it,
Yeah.
just to get some money.
So,
Yeah, before Pamela, he had what's her name? What was the other chick in the 80s?
Oh, Heather
Locklear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heather Locklear in the 80s was
but everybody got her back then.
Well, Tommy
what's his name from fucking
Sambora.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Bon Jovi.
Tommy had her first. I guess she had a thing for rock stars, because then after Tommy, then she went to Richie Sambora, and she was with him for years. And then they broke up. And then Tommy went on to Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
And then now he just keeps it low, but yeah. He stopped dating starlets.
Yeah.
But so that's what I have. So what do you got for questions?
I don't know if you can handle this.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's see. Okay, this is kind of a two-parter, but it goes together, so it's really a one question. But
Okay.
which member was involved in an accident which resulted in killing someone, and who was killed? Who did he kill?
That was Vince Neil. They were drinking and driving, and that's in the book too, The Dirt, and it really gets into detail. The drummer from Hanoi Rocks Razzle was killed. Vince Neil hit an oncoming car, like they just went head on, drunk as fuck. Vince was fine, nothing happened to him. He wasn't, I mean, maybe bruised up or something, but he walked away from like nothing. And Razzle was killed instantly.
Yeah.
And so then that caused some turmoil in the band because he had to stop drinking and doing drugs, and those dudes were shooting up heroin and doing coke and everything. They weren't stopping.
So they just turned it up more.
They were just like, whatever, dude, more for us or whatever.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh fuck. So you got ding ding ding, you got that one.
Got that one.
All right, the next one is, I can't read my writing here. Which band member was determined legally dead, and what was the cause of that?
That was Nikki Sixx, and that was actually the second time he overdosed and died, or supposedly died. But yeah, that caused that from heroin overdose. And in the movie, if you watch the movie The Dirt, they have likenesses of the guys. Like they put like Slash is supposed to be on the couch and the Guns N' Roses, because they used to all go do freaking heroin over at Nikki's. They would all just go do drugs over there.
Sweet Jesus.
They'd get high as a cat. But so Nikki Sixx OD'd, and then the first time he OD'd, and they explain this in the book, they went over to London to play a show, and he says this, he goes, I never let anybody shoot me up, and the 2 times that I did, I OD'd. So the first time he was trying to score some drugs in London, because they can't bring it with them, so they have to find it. He finds it down some alley. He lets the dude load his needle and shoot him up. He ODs. The guy, the drug dealer, gets freaked out. He just throws him in a dumpster. He just left him there. I guess he came out. He made it through, or somebody found him. I forgot how he got out of that one, but he lived. And then that other time, he OD'd. Everybody freaked out. They called the cops, and the paramedics came, and everybody took off like roaches. And then he died, and they slammed him with the adrenaline needle.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, and then he went home after he got out of the hospital and shot up another big old thing of heroin.
What's his cat?
On his recorder, he goes, "This is Nikki. If leave a message, I'm dead."
See, Kevin DeBrow should have done that shit too. What the fuck? He puts everybody out the way he did it.
Well, he was like dead for 2 weeks. So
Just dead and bloated.
He was all purple, probably.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Dude, but these guys, the shit they've lived through with that, they start fights in Japan. They got arrested. They'd go to other countries and do shit. And the fact that they're still alive or not in some fucking jail somewhere, like,
well, have you seen Vince Neil? I don't know if you'd say he's still alive.
Yeah, Vince Neil.
Motherfucker.
He ate Vince Neil.
Shit. Well, I've had my stories too, so I guess I can't fucking, but I never did heroin.
Well, you'll see it when you put this on camera. I'm a fat ass too, so
Yeah.
I'm a fat ass, and your stories. Yeah, you've got.
I did do opium. I don't know. Yeah, I never shot up though.
No, yeah, I would. Yeah, I didn't want to ever do that.
Yeah,
But
but bad enough with alcohol. Start adding that shit.
Well, alcohol usually leads you into the other stuff because that's when you end up doing the other stuff. You're drunk. All right, let me try it. All right.
No, what leads it is starting to smoke, because the smoking leads to the alcohol.
Yeah, but I didn't smoke.
And then for a while there, you used to take a couple cigarettes. I remember.
Yeah, I did for a little, but that was because I was already drunk, and then I started doing it when I was drunk.
Because that's how my friend Bill started smoking. We would get drunk, and he would give me one. I was like, "No, you don't want one," and he'd get mad, and I was like, "No, because I'm doing you a favor. You don't want to start." And sure enough, then the next time he showed up with those fucking those menthols. That's the fucking nasty. Those are the ones that mom used to smoke, the menthols.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway. Everybody has their moments, I guess.
So that's what, question 2? Or is
Oh, that was only question 2. Yeah, you're right. Okay, ding ding ding, you got that one. And okay, after this one should be pretty easy. After leaving Elektra Records, when their contract expired, the band started their own label. What was it called?
Oh, Motley Crew?
Yeah, Motley Records.
Motley Records. Oh, well, that was a good one. Actually, I didn't say. I thought you were going to ask me what was Nikki Sixx's birth name, which was Frank Ferrana.
No, I was going to ask you Mick Marr's birth name, and then he's got some disease. I was going to ask you that, and I was like, nah, get away.
Yeah,
from that.
you know what? I forget what it's something with his bone. Shit, I know what it is, but yeah, he's got something with his bones. It's like his.
It's like a bone disease or something.
Yeah, his spine's like it's fusing together. Like losing its flexibility and bend, and so you can bend and move. It's like all the bones are starting to fuse together.
And he was older than the rest of them. He was like
Spina bifida. He has spina bifida.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So you got the bonus question too.
There we go, spina bifida.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the sound I was looking for.
That's what he did. But yeah, man, I think from reading, because I read, like I said, I read The Dirt, I read Heroin Diaries, which was Nikki Sixx is just talking all about when he was doing his heroin. Yeah, I know a lot about this band. And actually a lot of their stuff chimes in because I read Slash's book and Ozzy's book. And so it's crazy how the stories start intertwining, Yeah. The different time periods and when they're all doing so. Yeah, because the other thing with these guys, they tied into Van Halen. David Lee Roth used to come over and do coke.
Yeah, he used to party with it. Well, they had all those women there, so that's what attracted Dave.
Yeah, Dave would be in the closet doing coke with a chick.
Hey, where are the white women at?
At Nikki's place.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they were. Nikki was actually, this is one thing when I was reading the Heroin Diaries, he used to go get high with Vanity. He was fucking Vanity for a while.
Oh yeah. But then he fucked Kat, what's her name?
Kat Von D.
Yeah. So
but no, I'm talking about Vanity. I mean, like that's a totally different universe. They're like funk and soul
world. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like for like you would never think a chick that's into that is gonna be doing a Motley Crue guy, but they love their drugs. So
yeah, it was the heroin.
Her thing was coke and him was heroin, but and they love just getting high and fucking, I guess. But who does it?
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. So check out Motley Crue if you haven't. I'm sure most people have, but if anybody younger out there, they're good. They stand the test time.
I loved the first 2 albums. The second one, Shout of the Devil, I loved. The first one was all right, Too Fast for Love. And then they fucking kind of pushed out, but that was when I was getting into Metallica.
Yeah.
They came out with a Home Sweet Home one.
Well, that's
Smoking in the Boys.
I remember when you got that tape and we were both listening like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, like they pushed out.
Well, when you I watched some interviews and stuff and documentaries and things. It's like, that's I guess a lot of the drug years there. And they were like not even talking to each other. They were fighting. So that's what happened on that album. They were like, if even to this day, all of them like the only 2 songs on that album was Smoke in the Boys Room and Home Sweet Home. The other ones are like, I couldn't even tell you what they are. They didn't like them either. It's Smoke in the Boys Room. I guess Vince had mentioned, why don't we do that? Why don't we do this, recover that song? And then I guess Tommy, was it? Who was it? Vince had one of them had a riff that they kept playing, and Tommy sat down and played it on the piano.
Yeah.
And then they dug it and they wrote that song. But yeah, Theater of Pain fucking blows.
But that was like one of their biggest albums, though.
Yeah, because of Home Sweet Home. So
yeah, that really blew them up.
That started, if you think about it, I don't think there was any metal rock ballads prior to that. I think that was the first big rock ballad.
Yeah.
And then after that, everybody had to have a ballad on their album. That was the new thing. But yeah, Dr. Feelgood was sick. That's a great album.
Yeah. Now, then they went back to Dr. Feelgood, and I like that. But then that was Bob Cock too.
Yeah, that was Bob Rock.
I mean, Bob Rock. Yeah. But I don't know. Then after that, I kind of lost. We were doing other shit, and I just kind of fell out.
Yeah.
The whole Motley Crue shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were at the beginning. Yeah, they were one of with Rat. I remember listening to them with Rat. Because I was older than you. We used to go cruising on the boulevard playing those albums.
Yeah.
Back when cruising was a thing.
Yeah, you used to be able to cruise back then. And I remember going with mom to like go to McDonald's or something. And then there'd be Friday nights, all the teenager cruises. I'm like, man, I can't wait to be a teenager. Yeah, by the time I came along, you guys had ruined all that. They shut down the boulevard. They put up no U-turn signs from, I think, 9 to 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because all the cruising that used to happen. But that was kind of.
And I remember it's Cragen's parking lot. That was everybody cruised the boulevard, and then they'd all pull into Cragen's.
Yeah.
I don't know why Cragen's, but
that was just the spot.
Yeah, I remember everybody else. Cragen's, all right, we'll see you there. And yeah, and then and you hang out at Cragen's for like a half hour, and they're like, all right, let's go cruise again. And
yeah.
It's kind of stupid, but
just nonsense. Like plus we had it's called Bonnie Dunes. It was like not Bonnie Dunes, Sunny Slope. You kept going to the end of the boulevard where there was no more houses, and it was kind of, just open. And there was like this one little side road you go up and a big dirt parking lot, and there was nothing there. So you couldn't see the cars on the main road couldn't even see us, and the freeway you couldn't see us. So we'd all just go, let's go up Sunny Slope, and we'd go party there. It's like, it's stupid. And we'd go drive around.
Yeah.
Well, you're a teenager. That's the shit you do.
Yeah, pretty much you did the same thing, except you didn't have the boulevard.
Yeah. We had to be sneaky with the boulevard because the cops were out. So you can go down it one way, but then you had to wait an hour or so before. So you want the same cop seeing you a few minutes later coming the other way.
Yeah. Oh, no, good. We used to race and shit. I remember that. Well, we wouldn't do it on the boulevard. You'd go off on Chabot.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the races would take place. It was like another main cross street that would hit into the boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days, man. Feel like Uncle Rico from fucking Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
See those mounds over there? If I threw this football, I could hit them. What are you gonna do, Napoleon? Anything I want. Gosh.
Tito, you fat lord. I had the Napoleon pin, but if batteries finally died. But like where you click the Bic.
Yeah.
When every time you click it, it was like 2 or 3 different sayings from that movie.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
What was the Mexican kid's name?
Pedro for president.
Pedro for president.
He built that ramp fucking for his bike, and he fucking crushed his ball. That was like shit you did when you were like 8 or 9. You was in high school. That's what made that funny, because how many American boys did that and then it fucking broke their balls on it like that?
Yeah. Make those ramps and bite it. Oh, well, with me, I do that stuff on my bike, but then I started skating. And then you go off those ramps when you bite it on a skateboard. At one time the board landed upright on the ground, and I bit it, and it landed right between my legs, and it hit me landed right on my taint. Oh, yeah, that wasn't fun.
Oh man, this is bringing back bad memories.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, we want to wrap this up.
Yeah. So check out the website, right? And
Yeah, twobrosmusic.com. And that's where I'll put this up there. And of course, on any podcatcher, you can, well, most podcatchers, some of them we can't find.
yeah, I like it's Spotify, it's showing up, but then I go to play and then it airs. I don't know. It gives me a middle finger.
And then and that one Downcast podcatcher that I use for like my tech shows, it comes up fine on there, downloads it and everything. I was like, damn.
It's,
And I never put it up there. So
it's because I have the Spotify.
it's like, you fucked us up.
We have something called Lozano luck. And yeah.
You fucked it up. You fucked it up.
Yeah.
Or it could
Fucking
be-
internet.
fucking internet.
That too.
Yeah. And then on our Instagram, I posted another picture there. You got to send me more pictures because I got to post more shit up on that.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I'm doing like at least one a week, but I mean, we should probably be putting more up on that.
We need to put more content. Yeah.
So,
Get more people listening. So,
But-
but it's been great. And we'll see you next time, I guess.
all right. Have a good one.